Alright, so in this video we're going to go over real quick how to make the cross that you see behind you. I've been getting a couple questions about it, so why not? First up, here's what we're going to need. We're going to need one pressure plate, two coffins, and this can either be the stash box variety or the floor decor variety. And we're going to need 3 of these Western bar sets. These ones do definitely look the best. So just real quick before we begin, I'm not going to go in depth on how to merge, but just to give a quick reminder, that pressure plate right there is pressed down, which is good to go. This one, the plate, the thing that moves up and down, is up. That's a bad thing. We want it to get placed down. A press down plate can be merged with. So all you gotta do, pick up that pressure plate that's been stepped on, place it down brand new fresh, see how it's pressed up, move this fresh, never stepped on before pressure plate an inch to the left, and now it's stepped down, ready to go for your merging. With that, let's go ahead and begin. All of these coffins tend to work in the same manner, so it really doesn't quite matter which set you use. Just want to take your time lining up those as best you can. And what you're doing is you're lining up the rivets to the rivets, getting them about centered. About that point, we'll grab one of ours. I found that it looks the best when it's set at a diagonal. And we are going to just set that guy about mid-center in between those 2 rivets. Making sure it's fairly even front to back. We're then going to go ahead and grab it. And this is an extra step that I like to do on mine, is just hit it on 1, 2, 3, just about 4 merges until that pipe's just about gone. Let's do another 2. I don't know, I think it cleans up the look a little bit, but that's just me. This is why my builds usually take forever. And again, getting it nice and straight. The longer you spend on this, making sure that it's straight, making sure that it's all lined up, the better it's going to look, honestly. Then I'm just going to go ahead, place that down. Now at this stage, we're going to make sure to remember that we're only ever going to be picking up this left side stash. As you can see, it's not exactly perfect, so we're going to go ahead and try to fix that real quick. Overshot it. That looks pretty good to my eye. Alright, this next part's going to be a little bit tricky. And something I do want to make sure that your toggle snapping is off. So toggle snapping is when you go and place it next to something, how they snap together like that. You want to make sure that's off. On PlayStation, it's the square button. It can really mess you up a little bit if it's on while you're trying to do this. So on this one, you're going to place that on the pressure plate, And the reasoning here is the game places the object on the highest possible point that it can. And so we're using that pressure plate just to step it up a little bit. We're building up supports for this to make the game trick into thinking that it's supported. And this is honestly one of the trickier pieces. Getting it to feel supported enough for you to place it. If you do need to, you can always build some extra supports around it. Just make sure that your extra supports are not on top of that pressure plate, because we only want the one and only to be on top of the pressure plate. Otherwise, it's going to create a little bit of a mess. I always like to over support it. It makes it easier. And as you can see, alright, now this is the other part that the more time you spend on this to get it perfect, the better it's going to look. Wow, that's actually pretty close already. Pretty close, but not 100%. So we're just going to spend a little bit of time using that free cam mode to lift it up into the air a little bit. See, this is, real quick, what I just did. See how it popped up like that? That means I picked up the wrong base item. It's nothing to worry about right now. All I have to do is hit cancel and make sure I'm picking up the correct side. And again, the bigger perfectionist you are, the more time it's going to take. But in my opinion, the better it's going to look. Like, to my eye, that looks pretty spot on. So I can go ahead and move that to there. And then, thank you very much. God bless. So now what I'm going to do, this is again another extra step. I'm just going to tap it down a couple times. Just one or two, nothing too much. Just make sure there are no seams in it. And then line it up on the final one. I feel like I always put those a little bit too far forward. And there we've got, with the final two little taps, our cross. Now, just like with the pressure plate, if you use your camp module, and what you can do to get it floating into places, like I've had it, hanging against a wall in some of the church builds I have. The way I do that is I use the camp module, and I place the cross directly on a rug or something, typically a rug. And the camp module will make things go down and sink into each other, or the pressure plate sinks things down. If you do the same technique, but using the camp module instead of the pressure plate, what will happen is this item that's on top of the rug will float and actually float in midair. It will still be connected to the rug, meaning that wherever you move the rug, the cross will go with it, just floating in the air. So that's a kind of a useful technique to get it where you want it to go, even if it's in midair. And then, final thing to add on, because it's not really a big thing, but other people have asked me how to get the small crosses. There is literally no merging in this. You just Greek letter set I, Greek letter set tau, or T. Might help if I'm not using these walls. Sometimes it doesn't like it if something's in front of it either. And it sometimes also doesn't like free cam mode for wall items. So let's see. Yep, that was it. Free cam for wall items is not always the best. But it literally lets you just place it right inside of it. This new letter set as well here does it really nice as well. I always do the eyes first. I think it looks the best. But yeah, that's how to make a cross in Fallout 76. These have definitely, in my opinion, looked the best out of the options out there. But let me know if you want any other quick tutorials on how to build some things. So, God bless.